To continue our undefeated season, we really needed to have a great game against Ball State, considering we've struggled with the last few MAC opponents we've faced. Basically, our offense needs to play a lot better because our defense honestly has been holding their own. While they do let up some leads late, it does seem like we know what we're doing. But when it comes to the offensive side of the ball, either on options or pass plays, it really seems like we don't know what we're doing until we run the ball like this. On a 3rd and 7, we take it all the way to the house to open up a 14-0 lead on Ball State. It seems like coach knew a game plan right here, but it seems like our quarterback did not, as he keeps an option for a -4-yard loss. And here we have a screen pass and we take a pretty big gain. And on 1st and 10, we show again why we should keep getting the ball and our quarterback stop keeping these options as we take another touchdown and have a 21-7 lead against Ball State. The thing that sets us apart from most backs in the country or even into the pros is our ability to receive the ball. Not only are we a big mismatch because we're faster, but we are just a literal big mismatch. Right here, we show our contested catch. We absolutely truck a guy after we have the ball in space. On this 2nd and goal, though, they do throw it to me. I break a tackle, and we try to truck it in, but we get all the way down to the 1. But on this 3rd and goal, they hand it right off to me, and we plow it in for another touchdown, opening up a 28-7 lead. But Ball State answers back, making it 28-14. After getting stuck on this screen, it is 4th, and we have to kick, and Ball State actually comes all the way back, tying it up 28-28. We have to worry a little bit, as with these MAC teams, it is not great to be dropping these games and making it look closer than it actually is. But we are driving down the field. We're trying to look for passes for us. Our quarterback almost throws a pick 6 right there to end the game, but we get a field goal out of it, making it 31-28, and we beat Ball State. After a big game from us, including 3 touchdowns, it does worry us a little bit that our quarterback is still not playing up to snuff. But even with the close one, we jump to 6th ranked team in the country, which is insane. And we are still the Heisman frontrunner with Carlos Campbell right on our tails from Ohio State. But being the number 6 ranked team in the country means that you have a target on your back, especially against a lot of these MAC schools. We might be one of the only ranked teams that they face, so we're really going to get their best shot to try to prove that they can compete with a ranked team like us. On this 1st and 10, though, we get great blocks at every level and take this one all the way to the 11. And of course, we score again when I'm not on the field. Again, one of my biggest pet peeves, but should have broken a run here and we got tackled from behind. Central Michigan always defends me pretty well. They always are keen in on the run, making sure that our quarterback has to throw it. But when he does throw it to me, it kind of turns out well. We pick up about 4 there. Another slow burn. It seems like when we play these MAC schools, we all kind of know each other, so it's kind of a slow ground and pound game going into the 2nd. We're only up 7 with the number 6 ranked team in the country against unranked Central Michigan, so you're kind of hoping that we put up a better performance than we are right now. Break off a pretty big run for our first big run of the day, and again, another power O. And right here, we tried to have a great cut in, but we ran into our lineman. The more frustrating part about this game is our linemen aren't blocking super well, and when they are, it just seems like I'm not capitalizing. Like here was a great block, got 8 about yards, but right here, we get all the blocks we need. We get a pancake, we're following our guard, break a tackle at the end, and score on a 20-yard touchdown. We go up 14-0 on Central Michigan, which is pretty key. We have another big run just right up the gut. At this point in these unranked games, we do kind of want to pour it on them. We want to be the number ranked team in the country at some point, and especially with these close games, it's not really going to do that, so we need to pour it on when we can. On this play here, I actually fall down, but our quarterback throws a dot, and he throws a touchdown, making it a 23-yard touchdown reception, and that puts us up 21-0 with still some time in this first half. We're going to keep passing the ball because we only have 49 seconds, and right here we actually hit me, where we almost break out of a tackle, and we probably could have taken that in, and we have a throw right here that he almost throws, but actually gets sacked, and right here accidentally put LT, and I don't really know what that does, but we caught it for a touchdown, 28-0. We are kind of pouring it on Central Michigan at this point. But this is what happens when you're a MAC school. You have to pour it on them when it matters. We can't just have these close games. It makes you feel bad for a second, but you got to do what you got to do. And right here, our quarterback is setting up. He has all day to pass the ball. We're actually blocking, and he throws a Stevie. A really bad read right there. I think that kind of sums up. We actually tackled the wrong guy right there. But I think that really sums up our quarterback. He has a lot of turnovers and a lot of bad decisions that I don't love. Right here, we actually get out in front and have a great block on a smart keeper on the option. I think that's my biggest pet peeve with him. It's on these option plays, it never seems like it's the right decision. With about 2 minutes and 27 seconds left, we are only up by 7. Central Michigan had a little bit of a storm back, and our offense isn't doing much. When we do run the ball, we are succeeding, but we have been passing a lot in between these downs, which isn't smart, and then sometimes we are getting stuffed, like right there, 0-yard rush. But we get the ball back, still up 7 with about a minute 30 left. Got a power O play here, one of my favorites. This guard always gets out and blocks for me. Got to learn his name because he's a stud. And we get tackled at about the 17. And that's going to do it. We beat Central Michigan by 7 points again. Not a super sexy win, but we played pretty well. We did what we could control, and we had a good game ourselves. And that win actually propels us to the #2 ranked team in the country. We were a little shocked, and now we're still the Heisman frontrunner, which is not super shocking, but still nice to see. This week against Bowling Green, it was really crucial for us to put up our best performance that we could because we want to be the number ranked team in the country. And the way to do that is to really pour it on these lower ranked teams and show them what we're made of, that we could compete with a Power 5 school if we lined up against them. In this second 11, we have a keeper play that probably wasn't the best, but he gets 5 yards out of it, so we'll give it to him. On this 3rd and 6, we're running it right up the gut, and we get it to a 4th and 1, and we end up missing the field goal, and BG takes a lead early, going up 7-0. In the second quarter, really have to bounce back strong. We have to put up some points and try to make every run that we have worth it, since we're not really getting that much in this game. On this 2nd and 2, we get towards the edge, almost outrun a corner, but he kind of tackles us, but we break out of it. Another quarterback keeper on this 2nd and 3, and again, there's sometimes when he makes the right decision, and try to give him his flowers when he does. It just seems like more often than not, he's not making the right decision. Like on this 3rd and 1 right here, he doesn't hand it off, and he takes a 4-yard loss. It's not like I would have done much better, but still, it's just I don't like these play calls in these situations. On a 2nd and 3 with only about 30 seconds left, we hit me on an out, which is good. We have a weird comeback, but we get out of bounds. And at this point, it looks like coach is going to kind of punt on the drive, but we decide to take matters in our own hand and pick up a gain where we force him to pass the ball. On a 1st and 10, we hit me right up the seam, getting it to about the 48. I don't know what that looked like. But to no avail, we don't get anything done in the first half, but our first play out of the second half, we have a huge run, our best one of the day, gaining 26 yards. Now we're out to catch the ball, and here we try to cut it up, and we get out about at the 20. Again, super low scoring, 13-7 game. It's a real monotonous type game, real action. Just trying to plow through as many runners as we can, break some tackles, and try to get our team a first. This 2nd and 2, this is really where the game kind of breaks wide open. We get around the edge with a wide receiver block. We hit the nastiest juke you'll ever see and run into the touchdown, making the game 22-7. With only 11 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, we do run the ball, try to make someone miss, and only end up gaining about 4 yards. Going into the 4th quarter, we really needed to put up some points. This was not a game we could look like we struggled on in the box score, so we really need to add some more touchdowns. Coach decided to hand me the rock, and he said, go try to put some points on the board. So we did with a 13-yard rush there. We moved the ball into about 30 yards, and we end up trucking a safety and getting in for another touchdown, making the score 26-7, and I actually broke the school rushing touchdown record. Something we were a little shocked with that we hadn't broken before with our other great seasons, but nonetheless, an impressive stat. Our tight end getting out and blocking, pancaking a man, hitting a juke move, and we score another touchdown, making the score 34-14 actually. With only 32 seconds left on the clock, we are still trying to gain some yards and maybe pad some stats, but to no avail. But we actually do end up beating Bowling Green, and a more of an impressive game from us than we thought. 3 touchdowns and 250 yards is nothing to scoff at. Of course, the game I forget to check the polls is the game we are the #1 ranked team in the nation. And we go up against Vanderbilt, who is not a good SEC school, but an SEC school nonetheless. A lot of people in the storylines going into this year as we've been on this run is that we haven't faced any competition. We haven't faced any Power 5 schools, and they're right, but the fact that we've been doubted is really something that this team has held on a chip on their shoulder. The goal for OU in this game was not just to win, it was to dominate in all facets of the game if we could. 14-yard rush right there. Vanderbilt does go out to the early lead, but it's not something that Ohio University has not battled back from before. In a game like this is where the read option game is going to be tough. I'm not sure if our quarterback really has the athleticism to get around a lot of these faster SEC talented type of guys. The first quarter comes and goes, and we do not have a touchdown yet, which does not look great. We have a 13-yard rush there, and we're starting to run the ball a little bit more. We're starting to get into the groove and the flow of the game. Trying to break a run outside, and we actually end up picking up a first off a really solid run. And on this 3rd and 4, we actually make a safety miss, and we score, making the game 7-7, but Vanderbilt comes right back and scores, making it 14-7 right before the half. We really need to tie this game up before the half just so we have a little bit of momentum. We end up taking a big run right into enemy territory. Now we have to throw the ball just because we have 27 seconds left, but this is where we have a lot of mismatches in the receiving game. On this 2nd and 14, we take it all the way to the 2-yard line, but we end up settling for a field goal, making it 14-10, which is not great because you can't really settle for field goals against an SEC school like Vanderbilt. On a 2nd and 8 here, trying to make a man miss, but we couldn't do it. We actually get the option handed off to us, and look at that. We're making men miss. This is exactly what we need to do. We take a 1st and 10 run to the house here, making it 17-14 against Vanderbilt. And right here on a 1st and 10, our quarterback delivers an absolute dot, making it 23-14. We're really starting to pour it on in the 4th quarter, and right there we get a block, and we have another huge run getting us to the 32-yard line. With about 3 minutes and 50 seconds left, we make a man miss. We have some nice jukes, And on this 4th and 1, we end up getting the edge based on our speed, and we end up breaking off a tackle because of how strong we are, getting all the way down to the 3-yard line. But then that is how the game would end. A field goal to make it 26-14, but we could really not be stopped against this Vanderbilt team. 22 carries for 231 yards and 2 touchdowns is a really good game. Looking at our potential bowl games, it looks like we're playing A&M in the national championship.